So it's Golden Dork time, everybody. Trump had, I guess they demoed where is it? They demoed the it's in here. Sorry. They demoed the Golden Dome today. I think this is what it looks like. This is our first look at it. Sorry if this gets too technical, everybody. So for those of you who don't know, this is thanks to Grok and all these things. We now have a system that looks a lot like this, and they tested it over the White House today, and I mean it looks promising. I'm a little worried that the laser cannons will eventually run out of ammo. I don't know how they've quite answered that, especially before the bonus round. So it's and this is there's the Qatari plane. That's not good. Yeah, so they used the Qatari plane as a demo, as a target. So sad. Galaga, you're adorable. That was Missile Command, everybody.
Great places of the world.
Great places of the world, unless you're a reporter and there's a wood chipper nearby.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here in the Oval Office. Great places of the world.
Great places. Are you saying this is one of the great places of the world? Or are you just going what the fuck?
Being here in the Oval Office, great places of the world.
Great places of the world. Okay, I think this is. Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
As we make a historic announcement about the Golden Dome missile defense shield, that's something we want. And Ronald Reagan wanted it many years ago, but they didn't have the technology. But it's something we're going to have. We're going to have it at the highest level.
Well, I would guess you mean in the sky.
I want to thank Secretary Hegseth, who's been fantastic, and Secretary.
Also, this is the White House's audio, so it's really low compared to other stuff. I apologize. Hold on, let me turn my mic down a touch, and it'll even it out, so if you have to boost it. Sorry.
Rubio and Space Force Vice Chief of Space Operations, General Mike Gutlein. I also want to recognize Senators Dan Sullivan, Kevin Cramer, and Jim Banks. Fantastic senators, great talents, great political talents, and people that love our country.
Great political talents. They got elected. I think that's how they got their office. I don't really know how any of that works.
Campaign, I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of...
Homeland? Homeland. The homeland? We're just going to pronounce it homeland from now on. I guess it's the L-U-N-D, kind of the Deutschland. Ah, sorry. Well spotted.
Missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today I'm pleased to announce that we have officially...
What about somebody with a suitcase bomb? Anything better? You got like a golden hockey stick or something to knock that out of here?
Selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us, and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also.
No, I think you're going to need to actually put shit on their land, stupid. You called Canada, dumb fuck. You did. Because if they come up over the top of or they come this way, they're going to pass. That's why Alaska's important. That's what you guys are thinking about for Greenland. You just, all you're going to do is fucking put this in Greenland. They're not going to care. You don't have to take over fucking Greenland. Just rent the space from them, assholes.
So as usual, we help Canada do the best we can. This design.
Why would we help them? What are you talking about? Asshole, they're just worried that if somebody nukes us, the fucking wind will blow the radiation their direction. Like a nuclear meltdown. Sorry, who the fuck is going to nuke Canada? Jesus Christ. American hockey fans are crazy, but they're not that violent.
The Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. So we'll have it done in about 3 years.
Sure. Totally. This is totally doable. Look, and if it doesn't work, so you poured $150 billion into it, honestly.
Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be
Fuck, everything is a reboot with this asshole.
capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from
Like the ping, 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 ping. It's gold. What makes it? Why is it the Golden Dome? What would make the? What's the golden part of it? Is there something about the yellow spectrum of light that makes the lasers that? I don't. It seems like we would have, if we got hit by a nuclear weapon, we'd have a golden dome. We'd all be glowing yellow.
other sides of the world, and even if they are launched from space.
I love gold. The taste of it. The smell of it. My Vinky was the key.
And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel
The only system ever built.
with theirs, and
No. The Iron Dome, I see. So this is the Golden Dome, and there's the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is against, like, tactical missiles. It's against, like, regular missiles. It's not space-based, and it certainly doesn't cover, like, one of the reasons it works is because Israel's fucking tiny.
it was very successful. And now we have technology that's even far advanced from that.
Why don't you explain the details of it? Why don't you? The golden nut will be protected. I'm sorry. That's a good point. I shouldn't have. Got to be very careful with that stuff. Oh, God. Explain to us the technology. I'm sure you can. I mean, you know more about this than the generals do, right?
But including hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles, and advanced cruise missiles, all of them will be knocked out of the air. We will truly be completing the
And onto the ground. Sorry, Kansas. Sorry, Iowa.
that President Reagan started 40 years ago, forever ending the missile threat to the American homeland, and the success.
Homeland? Homeland. Homeland. What the? Does anybody know what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
Here I am like an idiot.
Sorry.
It is very close to 100%, which is
Totally. Hold on one second. I need to, let's see. Okay.
incredible when you think of it. You're shooting bullets out of the air.
Yeah, you basically, yeah. I mean, they're a lot bigger than bullets, and it takes them hours in some cases to travel across the ocean, but yeah.
I'm also pleased to report that the one big beautiful bill will include $25 billion for the Golden Dome to help.
So we're cutting spending. I said cutting your hair. We're cutting spending by adding $25 billion for the Golden Dome. Jesus.
Construction get underway. That's the initial sort of a down pop.
Yeah.
And we
Sorry, what? It's a what?
have
Hold on.
probably, you're talking about, General, we're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed. This is
Hold on.
sort of a down deposit, and we
A down. A down posit. Yeah, it's a down posit. That's what it is.
get underway. That's the initial sort of a down deposit.
Down payment, deposit, down posit. Da-na-na-na. I mean, shit, that's right up there with Motang.
Michigan gave us Motang. Michigan gave us Motang. Gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Down posit. That's adorable. Hold on.
Here I am like an idiot.
Hold on. Oops. Shit, why did it do that?
have probably, you're talking about, General, we're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed. This afternoon, I'm also announcing.
After that, real quick, if it doesn't work, do we get our down deposit back? Sorry. Our down deposit. It's sort of a down deposit. Sure.
That I will appoint, very importantly, General Gutlein to lead the ambitious new effort as the direct reporting program manager for the Golden Dome. Very talented man, and I'm very honored.
Was it named after your hairdo?
To have been the one that helped or really created Space Force. Space Force has turned out to be a tremendous success. We were third in space, and now we're number one in space by a lot. It's not.
Well, not really. The Russians just have this, like, they coordinated like 3 killer satellites to destroy a satellite in a test, so they can now surround satellites and basically knock them out of this, into low Earth orbit and destroy them. And I don't know. Maybe we're doing that all the time. Who knows?
Plus,
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they would tell him.
Mike is a 4-star Space Force general, the recipient of the Defense Distinguished Service Medal, one of the most respected people in the world having to do with defense. You know, we have
our defense, I guess.
Defense, and we have defense. I'll bet he's good at offense.
We don't have offense. That's not how that works. We even call our offense defense, stupid.
And he is an
We don't have offense. I mean, Trump wishes, I think he said...
they're not allowed to be offensive, unfortunately.
So...
Background in missile warning technology and defense procurement. General Gutlein also knows that we... First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the ass.
Yep, not since the ass force.
Qualified for his job, and everybody, this was a universal acceptance of General Gutlein. Everybody that knows him and knows everybody else, they said there's only one man for the job, so I have a feeling we have the right guy.
You have no idea. He's basically covering his ass. Everybody said this guy was great, so if he fucks up, it's not my fault.
But now I'd like to invite Secretary Hegseth and the General to please say a few words and describe the system a little bit.
Yes, just a little bit. Don't get too technical on us. I know how you guys get. You start getting all Hal Sparks, Rob Glenn, Friday Eye about this shit, and it's just going to make people's fucking eyes glaze over.
We appreciate you being here, and the press has really been very fair over the last period of a couple of months. I don't know what happened to you. It was so much...
What are you talking about? You were just bitching at him an hour ago.
Exciting the other way, but you've been very, very fair. We have very high poll numbers, the highest
No, you don't.
we've ever had, and I think we're doing a great job. We had a tremendous trip to the Middle East, as you know. It was a really amazing trip, and now I came home, and this is the one I was really looking forward to this day, because this is very important for the success and even survival of our country. It's
Of our homeland.
pretty evil world out there, so this is something that goes a long way toward the survival of this great country. And as I said, we'll be discussing Canada. They want to hook in, and they want to see if they can be a part of it.
Well, I got news for you. It doesn't seem like they have a choice, because your Golden Dome covers most of Canada and a huge fucking chunk of Mexico. I think even Cuba gets in on this action, if depending on where it officially ends. Holy shit. I guess, but Hawaii's fucked? Hawaii's outside the dome, but Tijuana's cool, so we're covered.
That sort of makes sense. I guess that's what I was talking about from day one. It just
Sorta.
automatically makes sense, and it won't be very difficult to do, but they'll pay their fair share. Thank you very much, everybody. And
Why would they bother? Why do they have to pay for it? You're covering them anyways.
Pete, go ahead.
Well, Mr. President, add this to the long growing.
What we're trying to do is bring the warrior ethos back to our woke missile system again, because a lot of we got all these gay missiles and stuff, and they were trying to develop missiles that would turn people gay or make people gayer or something like that. I don't know. There was some theory online. I don't know who said it first. It was either Stretch Ben Shapiro or Alex Jones, but we're trying to bring back that warrior ethos. And they were saying these bombs, they like dropped it over, it was like an EMT, but with EMD, like electronic music, and that's why you started dancing to YMCA all of a sudden. Hold on.
It's fun to be let's party like we're moving Buns and dongs and vested thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Simple hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh.
So, no more of these woke gay bombs we're going to drop that turned Canada into a bunch of chicks or something. These will be, don't you worry, sir, these will be macho steroid testosterone bombs. Couple of side effects, back knee, and shrinking balls, but you won't notice. You haven't seen yours in years.
The promises made and promises kept. Ultimately, this right here, the Golden Dome for America.
And most of the ocean, I guess. Because you had to make it that big because it's got to cover Florida. So there's all this. So we're only covering, wait a minute. We're only covering like a third of the Gulf of America? The Gulf of America? How dare you? I'm sick and tired of you, man. You don't even want to protect the entire Gulf of America? Oh, okay. So the Golden Dome is only going to cover a third of the Gulf of America, and the rest of the Gulf of America is going to be... I'm sorry. I can't. We're not going to let that happen. I'm fed up with you, man. I'm fed up with you. Sorry, you were telling us how you're going to bring the warrior ethos to this fucking cake cloche that you're going to cover. By the way, you do realize that gravity's fake, the earth isn't round, and this is what God did this to the U.S. Our sky is painted on this. The moon is just a little light that moves across it during the nighttime, whatever that fucking bullshit is.
Changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans. Mr. President, you said we're going to secure our southern border and get 100% operational control after the previous administration allowed an invasion of people into our country. President Reagan...
Well, I don't think they'll have to invade anymore because I think they'll all be covered by the Golden Dome. I mean, almost all the way to Panama. So, congratulations, Mexico. I guess we can't. We need to make sure that if nukes land on you guys, the radiation doesn't drift our way and affect the crops yield in Texas or some shit. So, won't cost you a dime.
Years ago, cast the vision for it. The technology wasn't there. Now it is, and you're following through to say we will protect the homeland from cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, drones, whether they're conventional or nuclear. It's not lost on me, sir, also that you had the vision to start the Space Force, and here we are. When the others said we didn't need it,
to name the Space Force, we already had one. We already had the Space Force was already a division of the Air Force, because the Air Force covered everything from the sky up.
We are in the Oval Office with one of the leaders of the Space Force, in General Gutlein.
That's so cool. He's here. What's your problem?
Leading the charge on putting in place a game-changing Golden Dome for America. So, sir, it's an honor to be a part of this bold initiative. We're going to get to work on it. We have been since you signed that executive order on January 27th. We've been fast forward on this. We're here on this day, and this is just one.
Also, the executive. Here's what happened. Between when he signed the executive order and now, they've come up with a presentation of how much money they would want in the bill. They just added it, even though they're still arguing about this one big, beautiful bill. they're going to add another 25 fucking billion dollars worth of cost to this thing. And what they've amounted to since he signed the EO is they've had 2 little fucking stands, like these little things printed up in the fucking White House foam core printing machine. And then they brought in 2 easels to put behind him. So he's got like, look, I'm a stinky. So that's, congratulations, guys. Yeah, it's a month worth of hard work, and you came up with, that's the graphic that basically says we're covering almost all of Central America, a huge portion of, I guess, Vancouver's fucked. And so is Alaska. Like, this doesn't cover Alaska. Do you notice that? Just like, fuck you, Alaska. We're not going that far.
In delivering this defense of the
That's a total AI picture, by the way. They just fucking asked for that.
land, which is something you've charged us with doing, and we'll keep going until it is complete, sir.
Thank you.
And if it's not complete, we'll keep going, and by going we mean spending money. Also, fuck Alaska. Hashtag RIP Alaska.
Pete's doing a great job, by the way. Thank you very much. General, please.
Mr. President, today is a great day for the nation as we double down on protection of the homeland. As you're aware, our
See, this is way better. In this one, we're protecting all of Central America. It looks like, I don't know, it goes down here, and then, well, this is where all the drug boats are. So you don't want those to get hit by nuclear fallout. It makes the coke glow in the dark, and Don Jr. hates that. So
adversaries have become very capable and very intent on holding the homeland at risk. While we have been focused on keeping the peace overseas, our adversaries have been quickly modernizing their nuclear forces, building out ballistic missiles capable of hosting multiple warheads, building out hypersonic missiles capable of attacking the United States within an hour and traveling at 6,000 miles an hour, building cruise missiles that can navigate around our radar and our defenses, and building submarines that can sneak up on our
if you listen quietly, you can hear Trump when this guy's telling him this. They can what? When did this happen? We have the same kind of missiles, so the reason they wouldn't fire them at us is because we would fire, even faster and more powerful ones at them. But in case there's no case, anyways, I'll tell you about it later, sir. When you've gone without food for more than 2 hours.
and worse yet, building space weapons. It is time that we change that equation and start doubling down on the protection of the homeland. Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries. We owe it to our children and our children's children to protect them and afford them a quality of life that we have all grown up enjoying. Golden Dome.
Yes, and especially one where anytime they decide to do an international flight, fly to Mexico or fly to Canada, that they have to be slightly nervous that this thing will misfire and blow their plane out of the sky. But I wouldn't worry about that.
Will afford that. I greatly appreciate your trust in me and your nomination in me and your trust in the team to deliver this.
Dude, I don't know who the fuck you are, honestly. They put your name on a list, and I was like, who? And they're like, he's good. And I was like, okay, well, scribble. What times do we tee off?
Great day for America.
And also, very importantly, it's we're the only ones that have this. We call it super technology. Nobody else.
That is what we call it. It's true. Shh. What are you, Hegseth? Stop telling everybody. We call it super technology. Yeah, that is exactly what we call it. Operation Super Technology. That's it. You're like, shh, dude, zip it. Good God.
Does it? And
Nobody else has super technology like ours. They don't call it that. I think it's because they don't speak English, but they call it something equivalent.
nobody else has really near what we have. So this is a very exciting project. This is something that will, the general said close to 100% protection. So that's something.
Close. How close? Closer than 2. All right. So what? 7? 12. Hey, it's close to 100% compared to not at all.
We need. I think it's very, and everything's going to be made in the USA, by the way, very importantly. So it's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And
Oh, you mean defense spending internally to make up for the job losses that you created with your tariff bullshit, so you can create these kind of internal ways of maintaining jobs inside the United States? Government jobs, by the way. Yeah.
Just notice you two, Jim, you're standing there, and behind you is a very important document, Declaration of Independence. And that was in the vault for many decades right under this area. We have vaults with pictures on top. You have Abraham Lincoln. You see, that was the original Abraham.
Uh-huh. So will the Golden Dome protect us from flying pictures of Abraham Lincoln? What the fuck are you talking about?
Lincoln, the original Washington. And does everybody know who the middle was? General Grant. And so it's a very
Somebody had to tell him.
exciting. You look over here, and
Oh my God. Over here, I have there's Ronald Reagan. We talked about him before. This was his idea, but he couldn't do it because it was the 80s. And in the 80s, if you recall, if you looked at like a police scanner where they were tracking a vehicle, it was really just a LED light blinking with a big battery system on it in the middle of a piece of clear plastic with the streets drawn on it. You'd notice it would never move. It would just blink in the middle, and there was actually a hole in the plastic. You look at it in 4K now, it just does not hold up. And now it's all green screen. It's what we can do is amazing. They call it green screen. They call it, which is not always green. Sometimes it's blue, but they don't use blue screen with people with blue eyes, which are the only people that are in movies that I watch. So they use green screen. I don't know how do green screens and elves work? Does anybody? That confuses me. How do they put elves in movies with green screen? Wouldn't they just disappear?
you have Thomas Jefferson. That's Monroe from the Monroe document.
Yes, yeah, I remember him. Monroe from the Monroe document. Yeah, he was. What was Monroe on before? Was it Too Close for Comfort? Monroe. I'm starting to get the idea that you're Monroe. Monroe. Stay away from my daughters. Unless you're Monroe. The Monroe document. We've all read that, right? You guys. It's good. Monroe. All right, that's going to be stuck in my head all night. Oh, shit. The Monroe Dr. Feelgood. The Monroe Dr. Feelgood. He's the one they call Monroe document. All right, hold on.
That's Monroe from the Monroe document.
Yeah, that is Monroe.
And you know who that is, right? Andrew.
That's I don't know. Jefferson from the airplane, right? Jefferson, right? From the starship. Am I right? They, I've heard they built this city. Fuck, man.
Jackson. So we have a lot of very exciting pictures, and on the
Did they talk to you? Oh my God. We have a lot of very exciting pictures. At night when I sit here, I swear they yell at me.
side likewise, some great presidents and great people, and many of these, because people were asking about them, many of them, almost all of them, were in the vote.
Yes, we have a picture of Jefferson and Wheezy. She's also here. Some Democrats want to put Wheezy on the $20 bill or something. I get confused.
Or nearby, but generally in the vaults downstairs, where we have some great.
Don't tell them where the vault is, stupid. The next thing you know, you'll have fucking Nick Cage running around the place trying to sneak into a basement window. Hold on, where is this? I know I have this.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
Monroe?
So it's very exciting, and the place
Yeah, it is. What the fuck were we talking about? We're 8 minutes into this shit.
become a little different than you first saw it, Jim, right?
Yes, much
A
better.
little bit different, slightly better.
Yeah, there's no pictures of black people at all. I had all of them taken down. I don't know who these people were.
To think we had them, and some were in the vaults for over 100 years. So it's
Back when America was great, it was all white guys. We didn't have to have pictures of fucking MLK up in here. What the hell?
pretty cool stuff. Everybody knows.
It is. It's pretty cool stuff. Oh my God. This is just fucking. This is crazy. This is so fucking crazy.
Here I am like an idiot.
Quit. Damn it. Oh God. All right.
Jim Banks is a great congressman, and now he's a great senator from Indiana. And you might want to say a few words.
Well, your legacy with Space Force, Mr. President, is already big, but the Golden Dome.
Also, what the fuck is with the sad Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin on these little tables on either side of the desk? What is going on? That's the little signing desk. They just had him bring him in like nightstands. And then he's got these two guys. Fucking, what does he think? Did he try to open the head and push the button? What? Shouldn't that open a closet with like poles in it, and I can slide down into the 1960s Batman outfit, which would totally fit even worse than it did back then?
It's going to be an even bigger legacy for our country. And Indiana is going to help you make it.
Right.
The space satellites that are made at Fort Wayne, Indiana by L3 Harris, all the work done at Crane Navy Base in southern Indiana is going to be a big part of it. And Hoosiers are very proud of that. We're proud of you. Thank you very much.
It'll be a big factor.
Thank you for the contracts. Thank you for buying Indiana.
Good luck and congratulations. You won that race by a lot. That wasn't even a contest, right?
Well, thank you. Thanks to you and all of your support.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Please go ahead. You missed that.
Please go ahead, say something. I don't know. Does anybody know what the fuck we're supposed to do next? Pete, you want to say something? Look, what the fuck?
Much. Thanks. Please go ahead. You missed that. This is Senator Kramer, and he's one of our best. Can't get any better. Go ahead.
Well, you're very nice, Mr. President, and thanks for this. And I remember the day in your first term when you called, and I was a brand new baby freshman senator on the Armed Services Committee, and you said, I want to have a Space Force. Would you lead the effort on the Senate Armed Services Committee? And I felt so proud thinking that you chose me, only to find out later no one else would do it. But nonetheless, it worked out really, really, really well because North Dakota has some great space assets and that contribute to that and to Golden Dome.
Did you just call him an asshat?
No surprise that you would be the one, the president that would come along and put the homeland first. And this is just one more example of that. So thanks for this and for allowing me this opportunity. And by the way, let me just add my strong endorsement of General Goodline's role.
Oh, by the way, North Dakota has 2 senators and has about the same number of people as what? Cincinnati, the greater Cincinnati area?
Leading this. I don't know anybody better, for sure, better equipped to do it than he is.
Everybody said that.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Dan Sullivan, Alaska, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for your continued leadership.
And thank you for not including Alaska in your picture, because I guess we're fucked. Sorry, I don't know what we did wrong.
On missile defense, we were talking earlier how in 2019 at the Pentagon, you laid out a speech about the Missile Defense Review that had all these principles on missile defense. You articulated then during your first term. And
I did?
Now the Golden Dome is all of that. So you're continuing to lead. We really appreciate it. The Congress is stepping up, as you mentioned right now in the budget reconciliation bill, $25 billion for the Golden Dome. And what Senator Kramer and Senator Banks and I and many others, we're working on and I briefed you on this before, sir, on our Golden Dome Act, which we think will have, in terms of legislation that can help cement what you're doing right here.
I see. So the $25 billion is just a boondoggle. They're just throwing that money in as graft for the primary states that he wants. So the next 3 years, nobody will notice that nothing has happened. And then they're going to try and pass a Golden Dome Act, I guess, or maybe add it. I mean, the smart thing would be to add it to the Pentagon budget, I would think. right? And they're going to do that later, if at all.
Getting the Congress behind it, not just with the funding, but with authorization. So we're working closely with Secretary Hegseth, General Gutlein, the whole team. So we're very honored to be here, sir. And you know, Alaska is the cornerstone of missile defense right now in terms of ground-based missile interceptors, in terms of radar systems and track incoming missiles. So my state is on
Because of the Cold War and its proximity to Russia.
to continue to play a critical role in all of this and build on it. And we're really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Great. Any questions?
Mr. President, you
Yeah, have you ever been to Alaska?
mentioned at the beginning of your remarks that this was a campaign promise of yours. Have military commanders asked for this system specifically? Because NORAD had said previously that the current system was adequate. So what does this get the United States
Somebody
that
said the
isn't
current
already
system is
in
adequate.
before?
There really is no current system. We have
Yes, there is.
certain areas of missiles and certain missile defense, but there's no system.
Thanks, dummy. I guess we're all doomed now. I guess that's a green light for whoever's got nukes to send them this way, according to this dickhead.
Just have some very capable weapons that hopefully we never have to use, but we have some very capable weapons. Now, this is a different league. There's never been anything like this. This is something that's going to be
Something very special.
protective. I think you can rest assured there'll be nothing like this. Nobody else is capable of building it either.
Was it something that
go ahead.
military commanders asked you for? Did they ask you to do this?
No.
Let me put
Pentagon.
it differently. I suggested it, and they all said, "We love the idea, sir." It's the way it's got to be, right? But they want it, and they wanted it badly once it was suggested. I don't know if
They're like, what? You want to spend $25 billion on our bases? Sure. Does the thing ever actually have to work? No. So we can divert some of those things to stuff we actually need, and you'll never check up on it because you don't give a fuck? Awesome.
I thought they would be lucky enough to have it, but we were able to get it done, and we have all the funding, so pretty much tucked away, I think.
Also, I'm really curious. At what point do we expect to be attacked by Flash Gordon's rocket? Are all the missiles you're worried about that are being fired at us from a 1950s space movie?
People feel it's very important to have. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you first announced this idea, critics said it would be prohibitively expensive, potentially ineffective, and could trigger an arms race in space. What do you say to
And you said, what's not to like?
critics about that?
Well, they're wrong. It's about as close to perfect as you can have in terms of real production. I told you Canada wants to be a part of it, which be, fairly small expansion. But we'll work with them on pricing. We'll be dealing with them on
Pricing. Yeah, you can buy it. You want a little piece of this sweet missile defense action that's never going to be necessary for you, because even those who would want to attack us, there's no reason why they would attack you, and there's no reason why we wouldn't intercept something that was passing through your airspace that was headed our way anyways. We'd never take for granted, like, fuck that missile. That one's going to hit Canada. Are you sure? What do you mean? Are you sure it's not going to redirect and hit DC? Because it's not that far. Oh, yeah, we probably should shoot it down anyways. Yeah, probably. We'll send him a bill.
I think they know about it very much. They've asked to be a part of it, actually.
Yeah, they totally did.
They've asked us to be a part of it.
They've asked you to be a part of it. So they already have one?
I think it's something that is great. If you can afford to do it, we can afford to do it. We took in
Not according to Chip Roy. You should probably talk to him.
$5.1 trillion in the last 4 days in the Middle East. And when you think about it, this is a tiny fraction of that. But we make it all here. We're going to make it all here. We have, I will tell you, an adversary told me, a very big adversary told me the most brilliant.
Jesus Christ. Did this come out because Russia threatened to nuke us on your fucking phone call? Is that what this is? I'll tell you that I was talking, I won't say who, but I was having a long conversation for 2 hours with an adversary. I won't call him an enemy because he gives a reach around and a rusty trombone like you'd never seen, like no one's ever seen before. It's something really that's very special. And he was saying he could totally kill me and you know, there's nothing I could do to stop it. So I was like, we need shields up or something. And they told me we didn't have something like that. So I was like, get to work. This fucker's going to kill me. I was talking to an adversary.
People in the world of Silicon Valley said we cannot duplicate, and we can't. This was somebody that I won't tell you who it is, but you'd be amazed. We have the most brilliant minds in the world doing this kind of thing, the equipment, the space, the computers, everything.
Yes, the equipment, the space, you know, the people who make space. There's so much of it. Like, these guys never, when do they sleep? All this space that they're making.
But I said,
we make some of the best, just bespoke space made fresh from Silicon Valley.
We just can't duplicate what you have there in Silicon Valley.
Right, so we should probably just have a silicon dome then. We don't have to save everything, you know, but we just don't want them to nuke Silicon Valley. Then where would we get our phones?
Never have been able to, and there's a very strong group of people and very strong minds, but they can't. So we have things that nobody else can have. You see what we've done helping Israel with that. You probably wouldn't have in Israel. They launched probably 500 missiles altogether, and I think one half of a missile got through, and that was only falling to the ground to scrap metal.
Also, that wasn't the Iron Dome. That was us helping them with that barrage of missiles directly from Iran. Will there be a Golden Dome Plus where people can buy into it, and if they help us deflect missiles, we'll give them a break on tariffs?
It's pretty amazing, and this is in terms of technology far advanced from that system.
Yes, it's tippy top perfecto.
Follow up on the adversaries. Have you addressed Russia's ventures in space with a space-based nuclear weapon and told Putin to stop in your conversations with him?
We haven't discussed it, but at the right time we will. Yeah.
Do you even know what the fuck she's talking about? Also, what she's referring to is that, let's see, 3 Russian satellites. For those of you that don't know, yeah, there you go. Recently been launched, have exhibited unusual behavior. There we go. The Cosmos 2581, 2582, and 2583. Those motherfuckers. Where we go? At least, yeah. So they basically surrounded another something in orbit, like a piece of trash or an old decommissioned satellite, as a test, and then they basically flicked it or hit it with something, and then they made it fall out of orbit. So there's basically like killer satellites, what we're talking about. If you want to, like, hashtag killer satellites, but sparked intrigue in space tracking circles after an unidentified object was launched into orbit. Let's see, the 3 satellites from the Plocés Cosmodrome, which is a great place to see a concert, although the food sucks. Early on February 2nd. Since then, the satellites, whose purpose is unknown, have displayed interesting behavior while in a near-polar orbit roughly 364 miles above the Earth. In March, they appeared to be conducting potential proximity operations or maneuvering close to other objects in space, according to an astrophysicist and spaceflight activity tracker, Jonathan McDowell. Following this, the U.S. Space Force cataloged a new object in orbit, which was possibly released by them. So they basically laid an egg on whatever this thing was. But that's what she's talking about. They've been experimenting with these this triangulated, literally, 3 satellite system that knocks satellites out of the sky. Because, you know, the Russians have tried several things, including cutting the undersea cables with the help of China. There's been these kind of things where they're trolling and trying to cut the undersea internet cables that exist that come from North America to Europe. And so that doesn't really work if people can still use satellite communications. And so a 2-pronged attack would be cut the wire and knock the satellites out of the sky, sort of a rock, paper, scissors kind of a thing. He has no idea what she's talking about. He's only been to 12 daily briefings. By the way, think about how much I know about this. And do you know, this will go a long way towards my Elon Musk problem with this. Why does your satellite imagery look like shit if you have all this great AI and super satellites? I have the same problem here. Can you imagine what I could do with the president's daily brief every fucking day? I mean, the biggest problem I would have is that, you know, well, I guess I was about to say, I will never forget anything that I read in it, and they could torture it and get it out of me. But, you know, some of us like a little torture, so I don't know if it would help. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, like I'd let little secrets out, but they wouldn't know if they were real or not, just to keep the whole thing going. Look, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, and you shouldn't do this. I'm kidding.
With the goal of keeping Americans safe with this, can you talk about the timeline? How long will this take to complete?
We think it's going to be about a little bit less than 3 years, and we'll have a big phase in very early. You know, when it starts.
Oh, a big phase. You mean the part that already works? You're just renaming it like you did Space Force?
Immediately with $25 billion. It'll cost about $175 billion completed, but we think in 2.5 to 3 years.
Are you confident that you can get the funding needed from Congress quickly?
Yeah. It's amazing how easy this one is to fund. You know, some funding is tough and some is easy. When we say we're going to save everyone's lives in a crazy world, it seems to be very easy to get.
Yeah, obviously you're not talking about saving everybody's lives from disease or toxic water or environmental pollution or climate events. You know, the thing that kills most people.
Yeah, we've already spoken to everybody we have to speak to. Everybody's in, I would say, Dan, everybody's in line here, right?
Yes, sir. $25 billion is a down payment in the budget reconciliation bill right now.
Yeah, so I think
Mr. President, on Russia,
people actually love it.
Mr. President, on Russia, are you worried about the reports on a military buildup along the borders towards Finland and Norway?
No, I don't worry about that at all. They're going to be very safe. Those are two countries that are going to be very safe.
And the secondly, sir, if I may, Volodymyr Zelensky is saying today that he's hoping for you to impose new sanctions on Russia. Are you considering that?
Well, that's going to be my determination. That's going to be nobody else's determination. We'll see how Russia behaves. We see what's going to happen. You know, we have a pretty critical time right now. I had a talk yesterday for 2.5 hours with President Putin, as you know.
And after I shit myself, I came out and went, we need this Golden Dome like yesterday.
So spoke to all of the European, or to many of them, leaders, but they were representing the whole. And
which hole would that be? The one that you stick your head up, or?
I think we had very good conversations yesterday, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. What companies have asked to be involved in building this system, and have you decided on who will be building it?
I think I'll let you answer that. You can mention some of yours from Alaska's involved, and Alaska's a big part of it because locationally they're sort of perfect. I think that's your first
locationally
line of defense in certain instances, and Kevin will tell you that his state's involved. But honestly, Georgia's going to be very big. Florida's going to be very big. They're all going to be.
Well, that's where you're going to park the fucking thing. Good Lord. That's where the stuff already is.
Big. Jim, do you want to talk about Indiana?
Yeah, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I live, we make all the space satellites at L3 Harris. Across the board, we're the top manufacturing state in the country. By the way, the tariffs have been very good for auto manufacturing.
They've been so good.
But this is going to be
so good. Yeah, those American companies that are moving into, you know, in
good for the defense industry in my state. And there's so much money involved here. There are going to be a lot of American companies involved in making the Golden Dome.
You might also say, you're talking about the tariffs. Here's some of the biggest auto plants in the world moving into Indiana, only for one reason, maybe two reasons: November 5th and the tariffs. Okay,
yes, sir.
But the tariffs have driven tremendous business into this country. But you have one of the biggest in the world being built.
The Honda Civics,
right?
The new Honda Civic made in Indiana. GM has added jobs. Eli Lilly moving pharmaceutical manufacturing.
That's not a car, but sure.
From China to the United States.
Oh yeah, the Eli Lilly thing. That's from the Biden administration.
It's $27 billion. You go on and on with good news in Indiana and across the country because of the tariffs.
Our country was cold as ice a year ago.
No, it wasn't.
Now we have the hottest country in the world. This is the hottest country in the world. Nobody even.
Oh, is that what the glow is? Is that what the Golden Dome is? That's just like a heat sink? It's like a heat shield? This is just like, you know, I can barely feel the road from the heat coming off.
Even this last trip that I made, the respect that is paid to our country. We've went from being laughed at all over the world and now we're the hottest country in the world by
And now you're laughed at in person.
far. Dan, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I think when you look at the system that you've laid out, it's an idea in your executive order of a layered defense. So you have initial ground-based missile interceptors, which are made by some of the big defense companies, Lockheed, Martin, Raytheon. But the beauty of
Oh yeah, by the way, all the no new wars, peaceniks, military-industrial complex assholes, listen up. You're getting paid on the back end. Oh, but they're not stopping making offensive weaponry. Don't worry. This is just another area where they're going to make a shit ton of tax dollars, and just pat yourself on the back.
your vision, Mr. President, is that it's layered, it's open architecture, and it goes up into space. So this is going to be some of the new.
Is that your vision? Is that what it is? It's kind of like a crepe, or is it folded in like a Danish, like a
defense tech?
It's like a space cootie catcher. There is a missile coming right now, and you are gay. What the hell?
Companies that are very interested in it and can bring missile defense at a cost that I don't think, you said it, Mr. President, is unimaginable in terms of how much lower the cost is. So it's all across the board in terms of companies. Senator Kramer and I just met with a bunch of them last week that are interested.
I bet you did. Do you have any recordings of those meetings, of you meeting with the defense contractors, or before this meeting? Like, just, I think in the name of transparency.
This, and you said it earlier, Mr. President, our technology sector.
Yeah, our technology, sure. So we're going to have 2 golden domes?
Is head and shoulders above any other place in the world, and they're going to be a key part of this, and I think that's why it makes it so exciting.
Mr. President, I think one of the things that's, and you alluded to this, the new autonomous space age defense ecosystem is more about Silicon Valley than it is about big metal, right? And so what's exciting about this is it makes it available to everybody to participate, to compete. Big companies, mid-sized companies, small companies, but General Goodline is the perfect person to get
foreign companies, Saudi companies, I get you. Yeah.
to sort all that out, because he understands how it has to work together ultimately.
And Pete, maybe we'll close with you. We have been discussing this for a long time. Peter and I used to discuss it when I was going to go on a show that he did very well and had tremendous ratings, but all he wanted to talk about was the military. He didn't want to talk about anything else. We used to talk about this. How about you closing it out?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, without...
How about you say something so we can all get the fuck out of here? I'm already bored, and I've run out of paintings to talk about.
Your vision, willing to say and do things when other people wanted to look away and pretend like the threat didn't exist.
Yeah, we're all ignoring the giant hypersonic missile threat.
Or be focused on foreign adventurism, some other threat that we've been told is effective.
Yeah, when we could be staying home worrying about paranoia as the attacks come, as we allow authoritarian dictators to take up bigger and bigger swaths of land and take over other countries, build up their war chest to where they could obliterate us. Russia, sorry.
When you looked at the data, sir, from Russia to the Communist Chinese and their capabilities, what they're trying to do to supersede us and threaten us, how do we find the best innovators, the best military leaders, the best companies, tech companies? You mentioned open architecture. That's exactly right. So multiple companies can pour into this, sir. It's a layered defense. So if you miss at one, you catch at the next. And it integrates existing technologies that can speak to each other. So it moves quickly while
Great. So it talks. No.
also investing in further ranging space-based.
Yeah, basically Skynet. Well done, Paul. Yeah, that's what they're discussing. This is fucking Skynet. That's automatic system designed to deflect missiles that can react on its own decision. Yeah. I'm sorry. Was the I don't know if I have the Venmo in there. Do I? Is the Venmo on this guy? I think it's only on the other. Thank you for reminding me, though. I'll add it. Apologies. Bink. Hold on. Image. There we go. It's going to be gigantic. Get ready. Hold on. Sorry about this. If you want to comes back on. Look at that. Might be back up. I think. Check, check, 1. We're back. And we're back. Look at that. So good. So much better. Oh my gosh. Whoops. I think I'm back. I'm just going to hang out until it shows up properly. Just going to enjoy my afternoon. You know how you do. Put this here. And then, yeah. Hey, we're back. We good? I'm going to wait until it comes back everywhere, and we'll just kind of enjoy ourselves. I was going to switch videos anyways, so let's just see. Show transition, slide up, and then down. Okay. There we go. And this guy, and then high transition, slide down. Okay, whoops. Cancel. There we go. And let's see. Slide. I'm just fixing something right now. That's why slide. There we go. Whoop, hold on. Unsafe changes you want to say? No. Cancel. Okay. Never mind. All right, we're good. Really? Okay, there we go. Ah, I got you. Okay, so it's the same one in that one. Okay, think. Boop. Okay. Okay. All right, we all back? We good? I'm just hanging out till it fixes itself. It's just an internet kerfuffle. So, anyways, when we last saw each other, Pete Hegseth was giving Trump a rusty trombone.
Interceptors. So our enemies, our adversaries, are going to pay a lot of attention to this, just like they have to President Trump from day one. So you're defending the homeland, defending the American people. It's
putting the warrior ethos back in our woke gay missiles that make everybody trans and Marxist and also like books and stuff.
Benefit my kids, grandkids, all of ours in this room. So thank you for your leadership. We're going to charge it as fast as we can.
Very good. Great job, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.